But coming from a guy who self-admittedly didn't speak that well in the first place already and practically was not reading at all, I feel like bad reading is better than not reading at all. In fact, a lot of you niggas need to start reading based off of literacy. Oh my god, I was about to make fun of y'all for not being able to read and write, and here I go fucking up words. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. All right, today we got another video from Tommy NFG, When Rebranding Fails, Kai Cenat edition. And yeah, man, the internet has been kicking my guys back in for the last month or two. I've been relatively, at least on the one video I've made about Kai's rebrand or him talking about his mental health, I've been relatively supportive of him. You know, I thought the internet, and I still do think that the internet is doing a lot. People online aren't really giving them at least a chance. But I would be lying if I wasn't side-eyeing some of this stuff, some of the things he's doing, or just like some of the ways he's presenting himself. But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm still of the opinion that even if he was being 100% genuine, or if it turns out that he is being 100% genuine, people will never give him the time of day. I feel like Kai isn't necessarily even given the chance to fool people. Although, because I still have yet to understand how him learning how to read better would translate to clothing sales, but you know, hey, I'm sure someone can explain that one to me. But yeah, man, let's hear more. Let's hear more about our performative guru Kai Cenat.
Content creator, artist, or creative anything is a make or break in a lot of people's careers. You can have good creator rebrands, like Speed going from a kid yelling slurs in his mom's basement at 3 a.m. and doing voodoo rituals or whatever you call this.
Man, Young Speed was a wild individual.
To now becoming one of the biggest live streamers in the world and breaking generations of propaganda from the media. But then you
top 5 rebrands of all time. I still think Speed might be one of them. Speed might actually have Conqueror's hockey in real life. I don't know.
You also have creators on the opposite side of rebranding, like Sneeko. Turning from a person who used to be labeled one of the most creative YouTubers on this platform for his unique style of videos, to now having to hang out with the sinister six of streaming.
Ah, damn. What a shame. You were the chosen one. You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them. Yeah, man. It is sad. And this has to also be a top 5 worst rebranding of all time. I literally don't get it. This is quite literally reverse character development happening in real time.
Appealing to racists because that's how much his audiences got diluted. Either have a sand machine grounding your ball sack for 5 minutes, or have your sister in a room with these guys for 5 minutes.
Oh,
me personally, I'm sorry for my offspring, but y'all can no longer be born. Sometimes these rebrands come naturally though, and I think those are always the best types. Just like how I mentioned Speed earlier, most of his rebranding came from him maturing from being a teenager that grew up on the internet and watching edgy creators, then actually went out in the real world and saw real people. There's a reason why the most edgiest creators on any platform, most of their audience is teenagers, because that's when you're the most on the internet and have the least life experience. There's also rebrands that are straight up a hard launch and the person is saying this is exactly how they're going to be moving like, which is usually more dangerous because you're telling the entire audience you built up that you're no longer that person they watched. And the newest rebrand we have from a big creator is none other than Kai Cenat. I don't think we've had a hard launch rebrand from somebody as big as Kai Cenat in a while. Not too long ago was yelling yacht at women getting up on his stream.
So
I'm sorry. Let me lock him out real quick.
I mean, you know what? I bet. Go ahead.
Oh, here you go. This part.
The thought of an historian in the year 2900 going back to this time and studying these type of clips always crosses my mind. And now Kai's brand new look is him launching.
Yeah, man. What are we gonna say to, like, you know, our kids in 50, 60 years? Tell them that, yeah, this is one of the biggest content creators of our time, one of the biggest entertainers of our time.
launching a fashion brand and trying to become a designer himself, while also self-helping himself by trying to fix his reading struggles and working out. Off the wording itself, it
Nothing
doesn't
seems
sound
wrong
bad
with
at
it.
all. There's been two reactions to this. One being people who just hate to hate and basically hate on anything Kai does. If Kai does something like save a cat from a tree,
They're
in
gonna
the
find a way
comments
to
saying something
criticize
like
that.
he's worse than Hitler. Then there's a
Was that an actual thumbnail I just saw? No way.
Kai does something like save a cat from a tree. They're in the comments saying some like he's
Worse than Hitler. No, that can't be a real video. Wow, this is a real title. This is wow. I mean, you don't gotta like the guy, but damn. All because this nigga, at worst, he's pretending to read, try and improve his life. So he's a phony, I guess. Being a phony, killing 6 million Jews. I don't know.
than Hitler. Then there's a other group of people who genuinely just find his rebrand corny and don't like it. And if you see
That's
my
fair.
videos,
That's fair. I'm still of the opinion that we should at least give him a chance. Or at the end of the day, time will tell how serious he is about this rebrand or about this self-improvement arc that he's on. I personally feel like we're not even really giving him a fair chance to improve. And part of the reason is because he is documenting this self-improvement process in real time. So it's giving a lot of people the impression that it's not genuine, which I don't necessarily agree with. Just because he's recording it, that all of a sudden, makes it not real. If anything, this could possibly do one of two things. One, it could be sort of like this sort of like self-accountability thing that he's doing with himself, which could help him stay consistent with it. Although I think he hasn't posted on that channel in like a month, so shit, I might be shooting him too much bail there. But the other reason, which I do think is a genuine good thing, is that I feel like people seeing a figure as big as him try and basically better himself, improving himself when he doesn't have to. I mean, in our society, getting to the bag is king, and nobody could get to that bag. Well, hold on. There's a few people in life that could get to that bag better than Kai Cenat, coming from where he came from, and he's not incentivized to get better monetarily. I mean, that he blew up off of being, an idiot online, yelling, just having fun. So, I don't quite get all the backlash for it. Hold on, I lost my train of thought. Damn it, I was wrong. I was talking. I felt like I had a point. I was talking, and then the plane isn't gonna land. Where was I going with that? But yeah, ultimately, I think we should pump the brakes a little bit. It's one thing to not care, because truthfully, I personally do not care about what Kai Cenat has going on. It's just a little bizarre seeing this many people hate on a man for attempting to better his life at best, and at worst faking it, which again, I still don't see what he has to gain from it. In fact, he hasn't really gained anything from it besides a bunch of ridicule. But yeah,
defended Kai from random who just hate to hate on the internet or try to find a random problem. But I've also been critical of Kai, and this rebrand was
executed terribly.
This all started back when he
agree
ended
with
his
that.
subathon at the end of September in 2025. He hit 1 million subs, had 1 million viewers at the end. He had every celebrity in the book on it. LeBron James shaved his head on stream. We could have just left the last part. All we needed to see was the king on stream.
Right.
And after his stream ended, he decided to take a long hiatus to spend it with his girlfriend vacationing around the world, seeing different places. Kind of awkward knowing that now, considering
They're not
they just
together
went
no more.
through a pretty public breakup and she's dissing all of his friends and people around him. On this vacation, he was probably trying to think of how he would even come back and be able to top what he just did. Like, if I was in Kai's position, I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't know what the to do. I
Me
broke
neither.
a record that probably won't be beaten our lifetime and had LeBron James on at the same time. I gotta end off everything with that. Which is
like this nigga's already accomplished. He's already accomplished a lot of bucket list items on a lot of people's lists, and probably done it for at least three lifetimes over. So like, what more is there to do with the streaming shit? Honestly, in a sense, that's why I kind of respect Kai at least attempting to go another direction, because he could very easily sit back and rest on his laurels because he got the streaming game on lock pretty much. Even if he's not the top guy no more, he will always be at least in a comfortable position. So him trying to go out of his way and rebrand into something that is unfamiliar for him is a commendable thing, and I think should be at least be respected. But as Tommy sure is going to go into, it's been bumpier. It's been bumpy. The process has been very bumpy.
Why he announced in a video on January 13th that he's officially quitting streaming. And it turns out that was actually clickbait, shocker. The whole video was an announcement for his fashion brand and showing his journey on making his clothing brand, while also announcing he's been secretly posting videos on another channel that will document his journey. This was probably the worst thing he did in his rebrand and is the thing people are making fun of the most. In the reading videos, one weird thing he does is flex the phone timer after his reading time is supposed to end to show people that he's become a reading god above the average human brain input and output.
Location, creating, and implementation intention is a strategy you can use. You can use pair a new habit with a specific time and location. The implementation intention.
I don't. I mean, I feel like that's a not very charitable way of looking at it. I just think he's showing the timer and is trying to find a good stopping spot to read, or a good spot to stop reading in. Granted, I've never watched a single one of these Kai Cenat second channel videos, so maybe he is trying to flex. And if that is the case, yeah, that's some lame ass shit. But I don't think that's what he's doing. I just think people are literally looking for shit to hate on.
Formula is I will behavior and time and location. Habit stacking is a strategy you can use. Stability of ending the emotional pain, which can open the door for you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 30 minutes.
Implementation intention is a strategy that you can use.
I get it. I would never advise someone to learn how to read exactly the way Kai Cenat is doing it. Because one of the complaints I heard is that, he's just reading too fast, that he's not really absorbing anything that he's reading, which I get. But coming from a guy who self-admittedly didn't speak that well in the first place already and practically was not reading at all, I feel like bad reading is better than not reading at all. In fact, a lot of you niggas need to start reading based off of literacy. Oh my God, I was about to make fun of y'all for not being able to read and write, and here I go fucking up words. Literacy rates in this country are down in the fucking toilet. Half of you niggas is lying. Half of you niggas is throwing stones in glass houses. So hey, maybe y'all should try speed reading for a bit. But yeah. Anyways, I wouldn't advise nobody to read like that, but I guess that is something that can be learned later on. You know what I mean? That could be a conclusion that he comes to eventually, hopefully. But instead, everyone wants to kick him while he's down. Everybody is, this reading expert, I guess. But I don't know. I just feel like people are being highly uncharitable to him, and I don't quite understand why.
Use that you can use if you already want a 40 if you want.
Like, alright, man, we get it. You now have reached the same reading comprehension as Shakespeare. If he didn't put this timer bit into
I don't think that's what he's communicating, though. I'm lost. Maybe someone can explain to me why people are getting, or why that's the impression they're getting from him just showing the timer after the things pass and he continues reading. I mean, I'd imagine that he's probably in the middle of a page or a chapter or a paragraph. Like I said, I don't know what kind of books he's reading. So I imagine he's not just going to drop the book right when the timer goes off. He's got to find a stopping point. So I think he's just reading to a stopping point and is just simply showing the camera that, the time's up. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a Kai Cenat glazer.
the
Who
reading
knows?
videos, it wouldn't have received even close to the amount of hate it's getting. In the comments of all the vids, people are
Right,
basically clowning him,
they kicking
saying
this
he's
nigga
trying
back
too
in.
hard to be performative with it, and also are saying he's reading but not actually comprehending what it's saying. Something that could have made it better is if he showed some notes that he was writing down while reading the
I mean, I guess, but again, we're talking about someone who wasn't reading at all in the first place. Not everyone learns the same way, or not everyone reads the same way. this could be a gateway into him eventually doing that. But instead, everybody wants to kick him while he's down for not doing it the right way the first time. So I just think that's an unfair standard to hold to him. And man, let the nigga learn on his own. I guess it is, if I am to give some of the audience some grace, I guess it is on him for putting it online, and people are allowed to, give their opinions and give their critiques. But like, give the nigga credit for showing up to the gym. A lot of you niggas ain't even at the gym. Y'all want to be backseat drivers so bad.
Books to show that he was actually retaining the information and keeping what the books actually say in his head. Unironically, middle school teachers got one up on that. They was right on that, because you do not retain shit after reading a book for the first time. But that timer thing was gonna cook him either way. He's got to put that one in the closet. Overall, it is. Anyways,
Again, I mean, I guess put it away if it's really bothering people this much. I don't know. I'm just lost on this one. I don't know what it is about the timer specifically that's giving people the read that he's being performative. That's not the read I've been getting, but
it's good he's actually taking initiative to improve himself though. And there's clips too where he doesn't understand a word, so he searches up what it means on camera. Where people are clowning him for not knowing a word's meaning, which I find so
which is the whole point.
People always say try to improve yourself by reading books or going to the gym or learning whatever habit. And when you showcase yourself trying to improve yourself, they
gonna shit on you for not being good.
You can't even be curious about
right. They're gonna clown on you for not being good at something that you're trying to get better at, because you're not good at it. Meanwhile, half the niggas talking, again, can't read or write themselves, which is what makes this whole thing extremely laughable in the first place.
Something without getting the sped allegations. Meanwhile, those same people are fat chuds on the internet that do nothing but comment on people all day. And we kind of do need more people reading, at least in America, because the amount of people's reading comprehension has gone down is atrocious. I know this as a
like I said, a lot of you are laughing, but half of you niggas are casting stones from glass houses. That's all I gotta say.
Because I'll say something, a person won't even finish the video or just pause on that part, then go in the comment section writing a whole paragraph explaining why they hate me and how my take is wrong. Half the population reads at a 6th grade level here. We gotta start doing reading.
Exactly.
I'm glad to be in the group of Gen Z kids that got out school right when AI was about to hit. Because if I was in school right now, I'll let y'all know, I would be a couple of octaves dumber than I already am. Then there's the fashion pivot on that.
Yep. I was always pretty good at reading as a kid though. Always in the first reading group, you know what I mean? But reading only though. Writing, don't ask me to write shit. I will not write.
Same channel, he's posting videos of him learning how to make clothes for his fashion brand, which doesn't have as much hate as the reading, but it's more of the way he presents it, I would say. His fashion brand is called Vivette, and one way he's advertising it is with his own journal. The journal having designs and sketches of what he wants in it. And the way he's talking about this journal and flexing it, you would think he's writing some new verses for the Bible. Even on the Vivette website, the only way you can see the journal is if you sign up and join the waitlist. So it's clear the journal is the main marketing tactic he has for his whole fashion brand, which isn't an uncommon thing. Every fashion designer has their own type of documentation of the process of making a product. Kanye is somebody who did this a lot and showed off his sketches, which is why people are saying he's trying to be like Kanye. For him, it's confusing on
I mean, maybe, but maybe Kanye's just the blueprint that he's following. I don't necessarily see the issue with it, with him following Kanye's steps, but maybe he's doing some other shit, I guess. I don't know. I have to see more.
His vision for it, because in different videos he's saying so many things about what it's supposed to be, and he's changing the camera quality on the videos to make it look more like a documentary, which is now being called the performative quality. The funniest one has got to be him recording himself writing in his journal on a 3DS, which got deleted.
Okay, see, like shit like this. I'm not gonna lie, I ain't got nothing for you. If you want to call him performative for this, hey man, go right ahead. This just strikes me as entirely unnecessary. Maybe if I'm to shoot him any bill, maybe he's trying to shoot for some artistic angle with. Nah, I ain't got nothing. Yeah, man, just get a regular camera, man. You Kai Cenat, you don't got to be doing all that. I can't even defend you on this one. Not that there's, I guess it's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just an odd choice. So if this is one of the things that people want to use as parts of their evidence to explain why they think he's being performative, shit.
how to describe it. It's like a track, right? And then everybody's on it. And then when you achieve a lot or you do good, you start to succeed. You start to exceed it. Like you start to keep going at a crazy. The way like I'm a little dark and shit. Like shit dark for me. But as soon as I hold this journal up, it's a lot like more focused on it.
That journal better have the cure to cancer the way he's showing it. Crazy thing.
I mean, he's designing clothes at the end of the day. I don't know. I feel like a lot of like I'm gonna use art pieces here, you know, because that's essentially what Kai Cenat is creating, you know, fashion art. A lot of art pieces, we just see the finished product. We don't see the creative process that goes into it. And, you know, there's a lot of wacky shit that goes into creating you know, pieces of art. It might be ass, it might not be. I don't know. We haven't seen the finished product yet. My main point is he's showing the creative process, which is for him, for someone who's never done something like this, it looks a little, you know, silly, goofy, unorthodox. So yeah, it's easy to kick fun and laugh. Now we don't have a product yet. We don't know what we're getting. But yeah, ultimately, this is the part where I would agree here that, you know, maybe you don't need to put that on camera. Not necessarily because I think there's anything wrong with it. It's just the nature of people to shit on basically anything that's not perfect in their eyes. And what he's doing, literally the entire creative process is not perfect. So people are going shit on it.
Thing is, even if the journal does have good designs and people want to buy it, the videos have cooked anything associated to it. People will just look back at the videos and start dying laughing. There was absolutely zero need to record this video on a 3DS.
Maybe again, but yeah, I guess this is why I think there's a clip of ASAP Rocky saying, like, you know, not to record your creative process or not to record your product, yourself making the product until it's finished, because, you know, people, like you said, it might be good. People won't even give it a chance because of this shit here.
I feel like even he looked back at this and said, all right, I'm doing too much. While people were memeing the whole thing, it also opened the floodgates of old clips showing Kai trying to fit in with certain things where you can't put it any other way. He's just saying some shit to be performative for the camera.
Yo, if you could describe your outfit with a song, what would it be?
Viva La Vida by Cosplay.
Uh-oh.
These is kind of busted up, but headphones.
You do not use those. You do not use those. Why you capping this? He does not use those.
No. Yeah, he do. Look. These are the 16, 15 iPhones.
Thank you.
These don't work.
No, they just broke today.
How it broke?
Kai, you can use AirPods. We know you're rich, dog. And before people get on my ass for wearing these wired headphones, look back the past 4 years. I've been wearing these in every single video the past 4 years, all right? I'm not faking. I'm not sure why he does it or if he tries to do it subtly so people don't notice much. But in 2026, with all the forms of social media we got, people are gonna be able to tell when you're faking it. I do believe, though, that even with all these performative shenanigans, he actually got into fashion and likes it. You can tell his fashion game has changed a lot in the past couple of years. And I'm sure people will say that this whole thing is fake or a grift because it happened so soon. That can happen to anyone with anything.
I agree. And at the end of the day, it might be fake. We won't know until the product does or doesn't come out. Until then, I'm going to reserve my judgment. I feel like most people should do the same, but it's the internet. You can't tell people to not do something.
Though sometimes you get into something and like it so much a lot in a short period of time, you want to start trying it yourself or going out into that industry. The way he's advertising it, though, is way too performative. There's clips of him walking around with the journal in Paris Fashion Week, and it looked like he was protecting an ancient scripture that had burned down what vaporized half of humanity's information.
Yeah, see. Damn, maybe I am shooting this nigga too much bail. This is a crazy look. But again, who's to say he's just not that enamored by his own process? You know, at the end of the day, none of us will really know until the product does or doesn't come out.
Wow.
Before I saw these clips,
Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with him carrying his journal around out in public. I don't have the problem with that second clip, me personally. But yeah, I can see someone, you know, like side-eyeing the first one, though, where he's just reading in front of the paparazzi. Okay, I get that one.
clips, honestly, I didn't understand why people were saying the rebrand is performative. And as soon as I saw these clips, I understood why. Whoever told him on his team that this will look tough gotta be fired. Other fashion designers there were probably looking confused as hell. This isn't to say that Kai's clothing brand is gonna come out and look trash or ugly, but it's more of the marketing tactic and how it was done. In fact, I think a lot of the people hating saying the clothes are gonna look ass would start wearing it if all of a sudden people actually like it and start wearing it out.
Yeah, people are sheep, man. It only takes that's why trends are a thing in the first place. It only takes a few people. It only takes enough people to start saying something is good, or the right person to say something is good, for a bunch of people to start glazing it and acting like they've loved it since the beginning. That's just how people
I think
are.
Kai's gonna mainly struggle with in the fashion industry is trying to have this new persona while his old clips still being mega viral and out there. Which is why I said at the start, it's better when a transformation naturally happens on its own and isn't a hard.
But who's to say something is natural? Who's to say something is and isn't natural? I think the point he's trying to make is when it's more gradual, sure, I guess it comes across as more genuine if it's a more of a gradual change. But who's to say this shit hasn't been in the back of his mind for months or years? None of us know that. We're all just assuming it because based off of the things we're seeing. But he could have had these types of dreams and ambitions for years now. Who knows? I just feel like we're all jumping to a lot of conclusions that we don't necessarily have the answers to.
Hard pivot, because not only is he gonna get low broed by the fashion elites,
oh, that is gonna happen.
They'll just see him as the streamer guy. Also, it's the clips and what type of streamer he was, doing a bunch of goofy stuff for stream. It's way easier for you to be a small content creator and have collabs with the bigger content creators, because content creators are usually more genuine, which can lead to you blowing up and having your own career. The fashion industry is just like the music industry. It's cutthroat. They'll
very
tell
elitist.
you if your shit is ass, or a company will.
Which is why the fashion industry is, for me personally, I'm good off that, man.
Not making the clothes because they don't think it will sell well. And people memeing this whole thing is definitely not helping potential fashion collaborators take it more serious. The whole jump into it was very fast though. It was only 3.5 months he was gone before doing this whole change. I feel like minimum you need a year for something like this.
But why? Who determines that? Why do you need at least a year to want to better your life or do something different? And again, who's to say that he hasn't thought about this for a year or a few years now? Why? That's what I don't get. Why does he have to wait a year for it to now be genuine? Because then I pose the question: had he just waited an entire year but then done the exact same shit he's doing now, would it now be considered genuine or less performative? I think that notion is ridiculous. I mean, hell, look at Logan Paul. I mean, he had a whole rebrand change after the Japan thing, and that was gradual and took its time. And sure enough, he's still the same piece of shit, just a lot quieter and less autistic about it, I guess. This man hasn't been involved in multiple rug pulls and scams for different projects that he's done. So I don't know. Logan Paul isn't a good person still, but he's quieter and more mature about it, I guess. So I don't know. I don't think that's what determines authenticity.
I guess for now we're gonna have to wait and see how it goes.
Yeah, that's my opinion on it. We gotta wait.
Completely quit streaming, but if I was his friend giving advice, I say hell no. No matter what, as a content creator, unless you're gonna retire after
I don't think you should give up
15
content
years,
creation.
you gotta serve the people that built you up to what you are, or maybe that's only me. So y'all will have me for another painstaking 10 years at minimum. Enjoy. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
Deuces. All right, that was a valid video. But yeah, man, in conclusion, what's my point? What's ultimately, I think we should all take a step back and just let the little nigga do his own thing. Cause I think a lot of the hate is just people who hate this nigga, never wanted to give him a chance to succeed in the first place. And no matter what he does, I mean, this nigga could solve world hunger and niggas will complain that he didn't do it sooner. Like, I'ma just sit back and let the nigga do what he do. That's not to say I don't have my own problems with Kai Cenat, or there are things that Kai does that I don't personally like. But him wanting to read in front of the camera and him trying to start a clothing brand, generally speaking, I don't care. I don't care that he's doing any of this shit. And I just find it a little funny that people want to, kick him down this much to this degree. I literally saw a Kai Cenat hate video, and one of the comments said, Kai Cenat slander? I'm home. I'm with my people. I find that extremely weird. Bonding over the hatred over another man that you don't know, who for the most part hasn't really done anything to anybody. That'll always be weirdo behavior to me personally. But with that being said, that's going to be it for this video, man. If you watched this far, it means you like the video. So like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And until next time, I'll see you all again. Thank you.